Hello everyone, this is Mr. Taylor. I hope you are all doing well. I apologize about the slight delay in publishing course materials. We've had a few days, a little lapse in time there. I've been ill, as you've probably deduced from my announcements, and a few of you had some things going on. We had some technological issues arise with downloading Microsoft Word, which we will use for everything moving forward. All in all, it seems like we needed a few days to get started, which is fine. So what's going to happen from here is I'm going to continue to publish the content as we discussed previously in the course introduction towards the beginning of the week to give everyone the entire week and the weekend to work through the content. I'm aware that these modules I'm posting contain a lot of information, a lot of videos. Don't let it overwhelm you. The reality is we do have a very condensed time frame to get through certain things. And so you're going to see a lot of content come at you at one time. But this is a 3-credit course, so the amount of time that you should be dedicating to both work and watching the videos and reading and that sort of thing would be the same as if you were spreading this out as if it were a traditional Monday, Wednesday, Friday class or a Tuesday, Thursday class. And so it's all built and structured to mimic that. However, because it's coming to you at one time and on one page, it may seem as if it's overwhelming. Don't let it overwhelm you. The idea is going to be the same with each module. I will put some important instructions here. You'll see the title. There will be an introductory video. This week's will belong here, the one that I'm recording now. And then you will just progress through each video all the way to the bottom. And then you will have your reading assignments, which are very important, and then the in-class writing assignments. The in-class writing assignments are all of the actual practice-based assignments that you're going to be working on and that I will be providing you detailed, copious feedback, as you can probably already tell from in-class writing 1. So just follow through each of these modules. I will provide some short administrative updates. So you'll notice that I've already returned in-class writing 1 to most of you all. I want you all to make sure that you know how to see my comments and my feedback. And so I'm looking at the instructor view of the course. So it's going to look different. But when you go to assignments over here, and I'm going to try to tap into a student view just so you can see what it looks like. The instructor view is somewhat convoluted. When you go into assignments, of course, you're going to see what's loaded for you in this class. You will go to each assignment, and then you will notice that I have put a comment in here. Every time I submit a new grade or my feedback back to you, there's going to be a comment somewhere on this page. You may have to scroll down a little bit to see it when it shows up. You'll see my name and my picture. You will see a document link. So for this one, it'll say, your first and last name, let's say Eric, or we'll say Helms, Eric, in-class writing 1 edits. It will be on that actual comment I'm posting in each assignment. You'll click on that document and open it up, and it's going to be a Word document, the same that you submitted, but I'm inputting all of my edits and my comments and my feedback and all of that type of material into that document via comments in Microsoft Word. And so the only way to see that is through checking each assignment here. You should be getting a notification each time a grade is published in Canvas, so that's a good way just to hop in there and make sure you're pulling up or saving those edits. I will start asking you to track some of the common grammar mistakes and some of the common issues I'm pointing out in your writing, and so it's very important to know where to find that content, but it also may be helpful to you just to save those documents. Anything I return back to you, you might want to save them to your desktop on a jump drive in a folder, a Google Drive, to keep them all in one place. One of the final assignments in the class is a final writing portfolio, wherein I challenge you to go back and look through all of your writing and to assess how your writing has improved in very specific ways. And so having all of your writings collected together in one place may be really helpful. So that's part 1 of the administrative updates. Part 2 is I want to point out a document that we're going to be using from here on out. This will be a regular document to incorporate in your writing practice and the improving of your academic tone moving forward. It is called the Academic Tone Inventory. You can find that in this week's modules by clicking on modules over here, but it's also at the very bottom of our main Canvas page. If you click on writing resources, you will see Academic Tone Inventory template. an academic tone inventory example. I'm going to briefly describe this because one of the in-class writing assignments you're going to submit is going to ask you to submit your first iteration of this document to me. But let me explain what it is first. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up. You can click on it and then open it up in Microsoft Word as such. As soon as it populates here, it's going to look like a chart. That's exactly what it is. Consider this to be your checklist or your to-do list for how to improve your academic tone in your writing. The only way to get better at writing is to notice the things you do wrong. Hence, all of my edits and all of my feedback, it's all constructive. It's all there to help you. It's to point out the common nuances of your writing, the common grammar mistakes, such as comma splices, run-on sentences, word choice. If you include a lot of conversational or personal words in your writing, I'm going to point all of these things out on your assignments. And as you see them, I want you to put in this document. I want you to track them. So if you see a lot in your assignments that I'm saying conversational word choice, you would plop that there. Or if you have a lot of run-on sentences, you would put that here. The idea is to build a list, and this is a list of things that you do commonly in your writing, trends that you commonly commit in your writing, but you may not even be aware of it until someone else is pointing it out to you. So much of our writing is embedded is embedded into how we think. A lot of times we write as we think, and we think as we speak. Writing and thinking are inextricably bound. They're a reflection of each other. And so the challenge with academic writing is to step outside of the way we communicate verbally and to really start thinking academically. How can I make myself more credible in the thoughts I'm trying to convey in my writing? Anyway, I say all that to say this is going to be your tracking document. So what you would do is write each error that you see pointed out in the feedback. You can write the frequency or how many times it happened and what assignments it happened in. So you can go back and review that assignment and my comments and maybe some examples that I'll leave in the writing. And then a resolution. So, you can look in your writer's reference guide and look in the index. And so if you see comma splice, get your writer's reference, look in the index and look up comma splice, get the page number, and you can put it right here and it will be an immediate resource. You can go straight to that page if you continue to have issues with comma splices in your writing. And so I'm going to ask you to submit this week, and it's going to be based on only one returned assignment, right? In-class writing 1. So it's probably only going to be a list of 4 or 5 items, but I want everyone to implement this into their writing practice moving forward. By the end of the class, this is going to be a long document. What's important about this document, too, is that everyone has a different writing style. Everyone commits different writing mistakes. Everyone has learned to write differently. We all come from a different background, different experience. And so our writing style is unique. You'll learn that in the videos you'll watch this week. So we need to start tracking and creating your own individualized list or individualized to-do list or checklist that you can use to focus on improving your writing, because your writing is unique and it's your own. Your style is your own. And so the example is right underneath it. You can click on it. I can pull it up in Microsoft Word here. It'll look something like this. So run-on sentences, this person had 4 instances or 2 instances of that occurring in class writing 1 or 2. They've looked up run-on sentences in the index of writer's reference and put the information right here and put the page number so that when this person constantly sees that I pointed out run-on sentences is an issue, they can pull this list up, look for examples that maybe I've provided in these specific examples I've provided in these specific assignments, but also some detailed explanation in the textbook that's required for the class that will help you resolve that issue. And so your very first one that you submit as part of this week's module will look something like this. This is somewhat of the expectation. I've made enough comments on your in-class writing 1 assignment to be able to put this together in about this much detail. So I want to point that out. I'm also going to point out the study guide down here. It should be under course material. It's coming soon right now. I'm going to update that today. I'm going to just compile all of the resources into one Word document. So if you want an at-a-glance view of the concepts that are important or the things that you should know as we move through class. It will be in this document, as well as reading assignments. All the reading assignments will be there, so you'll know what readings are associated with what content, and essentially what you should know to be successful where we are in the class right now. So that's really all I have to say about that particular document. The only other thing I want to point out is this week's module, because it's going to be a little different. Let me pull up that page. I'm in instructor view, so don't let this confuse you. Pages. And let me navigate to the page. I haven't published it yet. I'm having to go through a backdoor way of pulling it up, so bear with me just one moment. Here we go. This week's module will look something like this: a string of videos. I've got the information, some introductory information up here. I want you all to know that these videos, the lecture videos you see here, they're pre-recorded, so you're going to notice me referencing other sections of the class or saying we've done this in class or talked about this in class. I want you to focus only on the content. Don't worry about the assignments I mentioned. Don't worry about anything that would pertain to a specific class. I only want you to look at the content and review the content. The first few videos are going to reinforce the importance of formatting your overall documents in APA. And then we're going to, unfortunately, I know this is going to be somewhat dull to most of you. We're going to have to cover some common grammar mistakes, some of the top 20 or so writing mistakes committed by most incoming college writers. These are very important. We do need to know we have a certain benchmark of writing we have to achieve through the course, and eliminating some of these errors will help you get there. It will help you start weeding these types of issues out of your own writing and will improve your academic tone. And thus, the last part of the lecture videos for this week will be focused on academic tone. I've said it 100 times already in probably just 2 weeks, and it's extremely important. And what we do in these videos is define the nature of an academic tone. What does that really mean? How do you do it? How do you assess for it? We start looking at the basic unit of meaning, which is sentences, how we can start focusing on our word choice and our sentence structure to become more academic in our writing, or to become more credible and less personal, less subjective and more objective, which is the heart of academic writing, is to take yourself, your ideas, your attitudes, your beliefs out of it, and to present claims, objective and neutral data and information that will make your points for you. This can be challenging. I understand that, and writing in this way can be challenging, but the only way to learn how to do it is to do it. You have to get your hands dirty. You have to, dive in head first and just attack all of these issues at once as you write. So don't let it overwhelm you. Just know that it's going to be something that is ongoing. I do want to mention anything you submit in this class should be in full APA format with a cover page, headers, appropriately formatted page numbers, spacing. I cover exactly how to do this in this particular video, but I do want to point out, I think some people operate on the assumption that as long as a document looks clean, that it's okay, that you can submit it. This is also challenging for incoming college writers because we're learning the nature of style, right? Style guide. The style guide we're working in this class is American Psychological Association, APA, and it all of these pieces have to be correct for your document to be considered in APA format. For instance, if you miss a page number, if your headers are not correct, if your spacing is not correct, if you miss just one instance of that, your entire document is deemed to not be in the correct style. So it's really important that you focus on how to do that. I show you exactly how to do that in this video. And everything else you submit in this class will be in this format. That is the academic format. That's the goal for any writing you submit. A few of you have had the in-class writing 1 returned to you so that you could put that content in this right format and submit it back to me. If that's the case, I will give you the remaining credit once it's in the right format. However, I need to ensure that everyone knows how to do that and knows how to format all of these different pieces of the document as a whole. I will wrap up with the administrative updates. Again, this week we're focusing on sentences. We're focusing on academic tone, grammar mistakes. Next week, we're going to start focusing on what we call the critical analytical framework and really bridging the gap between thinking how we think as a person or an individual to how we think as an academic. how we start thinking as someone who's building credibility and arguments for themselves for a certain purpose. And so that content's coming the following week. I also posted an update that I've reduced the number of overall papers from 3 to 2. And what I've done is removed the very first paper, and we're going to be splicing that between the remaining 2 papers. And so the 2 papers you will write